Your static field totem is your most versatile and useful tool as an enhancement shaman, and once you learn how to use it correctly, you'll be able to reap great benefits and earn a bit of uniqueness comparatively to other melees. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 ways to use your static field totem in your arena or RPG games, and hopefully you guys can use them and learn and push a bit further. If you find this video useful, then make sure to chuck a like rating down below, maybe even comment something nice, and possibly consider subscribing. Let's get right into the video. Your most common use of static field totem is going to be grouping enemies together. Be it RPGs or arena, if you're playing with an arms warrior, windwalker monk, or rep paladin, it's easy setup and it's easy pressure. Your windwalker monk can get a triple sweep, your arms warrior can get an easy triple spear, especially if they are playing bleed build, they can get their bleeds up very quickly. And if you're playing with the rep paladin, they can guarantee just get all their cleave damage on every single target without really too much effort. Their final reckoning is going to hit everybody, their divine storm is going to hit everybody, and of course their divine toll is going to be just doing massive damage, especially if you're going up against a comp that is usually easily run downable, or their healer is just very pressured whenever you stay on top of them. It's going to be free damage, it's going to be very potent, spreading that damage to every single one of the targets, and it's going to make that healer's life absolutely miserable.
DK.
Big kills on tuna. Big kills on tuna.
Kill him here.
And keep in mind, your static field totem range has only about a 20-yard range, alright, with your totem projection to actually work. So you don't want to overshot it and you don't want to undershot it. You want to make sure, you want to calculate in your head the distance between each and every person to make sure it is equal to about 20 yards, because people will overshot and completely rip their totem across the entire map and it will not do anything because they completely overshot it. So you want to make sure that everyone is in pretty equal distance with each other to actually make sure your static field totem connects to all of them. Alright, keep that in mind. Your second use of static field totem, which is actually your most vital use, is porting out of AoE buffs. AoE buffs or defensives are very potent and have always been very strong in arena or RPGs, and not a lot of classes can counter AoE buffs. A lot of classes have knockbacks like bursting shot, high explosive trap, thunderstorm, typhoon, but knockbacks can only take you so far, and especially if you're playing on even terrain, it's not going to be that great. But static field totem will completely negate any of these buffs. A demon hunter darknesses, or a priest dome of light, or a shaman or earthen wall totems, you can get them all in that static field totem, which is about the same radius as every one of these defensives, and you can completely rip them out of those defensives. And of course, that's when you're going to burst, that's when you're going to pump as much damage as you can, and 9 times out of 10 you're probably going to force another cooldown, an actual self cooldown, be it astral shift or pain suppression, you know, blur. No matter what it is, you're going to force extra cooldowns from porting them out of those raid wide defensives. Pour him out of karma in a second. I'll pour him out of dome in a second. I got him. Let's smoke! Your third use of static field totem is going to be locking down casters. Enhancement Shaman is one of the most immobile melees in the game, so you rely on anti-mobility on stuff like static field totem, frost shock, and earth grab totem to really make connections to anybody. So when you have casters or again hunters just running laps around you, it's pretty infuriating. You don't really have a lot of movement speed increase, or you don't have gap closers to really make those connections. Now you don't want to use it if you're literally 40 yards away from the target. No, you want to make sure you're at least pretty close to the target, so when you do lock them down in your static field totem, you and hopefully your teammate can easily make the connection and start popping your full burst. If you use it when you're pretty far away from the opponent, guess what's going to happen? They're going to kill your totem and they're just going to run freely up again. So you want to make sure you're pretty close to the target, so when you actually static field totem, you can actually get some damage out there and make it pretty valuable. Kill Skyfruit totem here.
Skyfruit, nice.
Got it. Smoke him. I'll port it back to us.
Nice. I love that ability. That's so
Your
cool.
fourth use of static field totem is very, very strong, and that is for peeling for your healers. When your healer is getting ran down, not being able to cast, you blowing through the defensives, it's very frustrating because not only is he being pressured, but the minute they swap off of him to you or to your other melee or to your other teammate, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get smoked. You have to use your own defensives, you have to keep yourself alive, your healer has to recover on everything that he just blew out of the water, and it's going to be a very rough time. So using your static field totem to group them up in your static field totem and port them away from your healer is going to be a massive pain reliever for your healer, and it's going to make them recover just a tad bit faster.
Or you?
Give you your shield. Port him off you, bro. Port him off you. Your fifth and final use for static field totem is porting out of LOS. If you're playing around a pillar or playing anywhere near any sort of LOS, you can group them up in your static field totem, be it you can get a single target, it doesn't matter. You can get them in your static field totem and you can port them out of LOS. It'll force their healer in a bad position, easily susceptible to CC or even just massive cleave, and you're overall going to force cooldowns. You're going to force their DPS to use their own cooldowns, as again they're LOS, they can't be healed by their healer, so they're forced to use their own CDs.
Healing you, heal myself.
Port my LOS.
I rooted him back here. Cat get fucked.
Get fucked, nerd.
Okay, I'm gonna give you
port
that.
him LOS. Port him LOS.
Nice, huge. I fear priest.
Dodging all
Trinket
that.
kill! Insane! And that's it for this video. Hopefully you found these tips very enjoyable, and if you did find them very useful, you can chuck a like rating down below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and comment something nice, racist, or misogynistic. I read all those comments. So hopefully you guys had a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next life. Peace.